Welcome to the Panic Chamber, where we panic or we set people straight in terms of players they should not be panicking on that maybe you can acquire if your league even allows trading at this point. But we're going to hit on Dynasty too. A lot of Dynasty leagues allow trading year round. And we're doing Dynasty go forward here on the show. Almost everything we do going forward, I will try to have a Dynasty section in the content or a Dynasty angle with the content, because I'm going to be your number one stop moving forward for Dynasty and redraft. I'm going to hit Dynasty content so hard you won't know what hit you. Lamb, Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara, Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Jamarr Chase. We're going to talk about Jamarr Chase. Who are you going to panic on walking into week 14 on? Walking into Dynasty 2022, walking into redraft 2022. We're going to break all these names down and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty. Take a lap. Before we move forward, please know that I am offering a special deal on my sleeperu.com. What is sleeperu.com? I'll tell you what it is. It is...
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions? Get on over to sleeperu.com.
It's my content site. It's my rankings, my bold predictions, my trade calculator. If you buy the $199 lifetime membership, you'll never pay for content again. Rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators, all the Dynasty content, the player spotlights, and you get the draft call. And I'll throw in free 2022 text advice the whole year. Unlimited. I invented one of, if not the very first trade calculator in the fantasy football industry. In fact, it's why I got into the business. No one had instant-based trade calculators out there. No one had content year-round. Even before Dynasty, I wanted year-round redraft content. I wanted rankings up right after the Super Bowl. People called me crazy. I didn't care. It's why I got into the business 19 years ago, because I thought, what would I want? What do I want? As a consumer, what do I want? What isn't out there? And I started 19 years ago doing this kind of stuff. And one thing we've been doing lately that you all love is the Panic Chamber. So let's get into it. And let's start off with a guy that a lot of people are going to hit me up about all week long. Smitty, you said Jamarr Chase would be a top 5 wide receiver going forward. Is he even startable at this point? Look, I'm disappointed too. And I'll even take a lap.
Take a lap.
Actually, going back to the board, I put this up like 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I leave stuff like this up sometimes because it's fun to reflect on it. But I've got DM after DM over the last couple weeks saying, why do you have Zeke Elliott for Monty on the board? How's that looking now? Okay, so back to my misses. Let's talk about Jamarr Chase, who I said, go get. I'm still very, very high on him. Am I upset that he's not tearing it up right now? Have I been wrong on Jamarr Chase right now and last week? Yeah.
Take a lap. Take a lap.
Big misses on my part, but I still believe in him. I know the bounce back is coming. As I always say, rookies have a lull, a little period of time. Sometimes they're longer periods of time than others, and you can't really predict which rookie's going to have a little lull. Look at Najee Harris. It's not a coincidence. Najee's struggling. Jamarr Chase is struggling. Once a rookie has played what feels like a college season, his body starts breaking down a little bit. Some rookies will get hurt. Others will push through the rookie wall and then go on a tear. Najee, if he doesn't get hurt, will go on a tear. Jamarr Chase, if he doesn't get hurt, will go on a tear. I've been wrong on when that tear is going to happen. Am I worried? Not a lot. Am I worried the slump could continue next week? Yeah, I am a little bit. But I'm not so worried that I'm not taking advantage of getting Jamarr Chase at every single turn, every single opportunity I can get my hands on in Dynasty or in redraft leagues that are weird and still allow for trading. I 100% believe in this guy. If fully healthy, I know he's going to tear it up down the stretch. It all makes sense. Rookies are up, down, and up. Jamarr Chase, you are currently in the panic chamber. However, there's a good side to this in terms of buying. If you own him, it sucks that he's been slumping enough to actually get into the panic chamber. But the positives are that he's attainable. He's more attainable in Dynasty than he ever would have been. I still think he finishes so strong that he is a top 14, top 15 overall pick in 2022 redraft leagues. If he doesn't finish strong, then he won't be, and he'll be a value grab. I'm still going to like Jamarr Chase in 2022 no matter what. I'll probably like him more if he's undervalued, but I will pay if he bounces back and dominates the rest of 2021. I will pay top 15 overall value in 2022 if he finishes that strong. Saquon Barkley. Panic, panic, panic. I know some are going to go, well, he did kind of good yards per carry. He's just not getting carries, Smitty. Which was one of the red flags. Offense is garbage. Offensive line is garbage. QB carousel, if your QB is even healthy, he vultures touchdowns. No continuity at all. And he's injured. He's still coming back from the ankle. He's still going to constantly battle the knee and swelling that he'll endure every single week, which is why he's limited in practices. Not only am I panicking on Barkley, he's been living in here all year long. There's nobody that has paid more rent to live inside the panic chamber all year than this man Saquon Barkley. He has been there the entire season and he's not getting out. And in 2022 and in Dynasty, I don't believe he stays healthy. He's a very injury-prone player, and that won't get better. He's very aggressive, which is a pro, but when you're injury-prone and you're ultra-aggressive and you push your body to the max every time you carry the football, this guy will forever be very susceptible to soft tissue injuries and putting his body in awkward positions. Like when he almost dislocated his elbow, the exact play before he tore his ACL, comes back and steps on a lineman's foot, recklessly running into the lineman, and people saying it's a freak ankle sprain. It wasn't. It's where he puts his body and how aggressively he plays without regard to his own body. Bad offense, injury history, the way he plays. I do not believe he will stay healthy going forward, and I would not draft him in 2022, and if I own him in Dynasty, I'm selling high. The first moment I can. Barkley, you're in the panic chamber, pal.
What do we do with Ceedee Lamb, Smitty?
Look, I'm looking at one league right now, and Ceedee Lamb is the number 8 wide receiver in one league, the number 10 in another, number 11 in a different league. It depends on your scoring format, but coming out of this week with Monday night and Sunday night players still to go by the time I record this video, he's in the 8 to 11 range for all wide receivers coming out of week 13. That means he's 1 or 2 huge games from being like a top 6 wide receiver at the end of the year. My eyes don't lie to me. He's unlocking different parts of his game every single time he hits the field. Am I a little bit worried that the offense will hold him back, or he could be really inconsistent all the way out of 2021? Of course I am. The Cowboys offense is making everybody a little panicked. And given the expectation, you could put Lamb in the panic chamber. In fact, we'll put him in there. Lamb, you're in the panic chamber. But like with Jamarr Chase, I'm not worried about it if I own him. I'm not happy about him not being top 5 like I had hoped up to this point. But I think he could still, in the end, finish in the top 5 or 6 for all wide receivers in 2021 scoring, with a couple of huge monster games because he's floating around 8 to 12. And if I don't own him, I'm excited about the prospects of going and getting him in any weird redraft league that still lets you trade, in any dynasty league where I could get him a little bit cheaper, even if you can't steal him away, because people aren't morons. Most people aren't morons anyway. So I'm going to take a stab and I'm going to try and lamb somebody in a trade for Lamb, using Lamb against somebody to lamb them.
Get lambed.
So you can jump off the train if you wish. I'm staying on. I'm conducting the Ceedee Lamb train all the way to the other station, which is the end of time. Alvin Kamara, we're panicking on Alvin Kamara. He was kind of supposed to play, and then he didn't play. So, yeah, Kamara, you're definitely in the panic chamber. You've been there for a while, pal. But are we getting rid of him in weird leagues where you can still trade? Or are we selling him in Dynasty because we fear what's happening with McCaffrey will now happen to Kamara? A little bit worried about him. He's endured a lot. He's played a while. He probably has 1 or 2 elite years left before he starts missing all kinds of time. Look, he's had a good run already. He's not a spring chicken. In Dynasty, I might take him in the top like 7. Depends how he finishes. But if he's hurt and banged up all year, comes back banged up, doesn't return next week, we got a whole different situation on our hands, and we got to break it all down week by week. This is a week by week situation. We don't know what we're dealing with right now. We can kind of like assume, but we really don't know. So for right now, given he almost played week number 13, unless we're being lied to and there's a setback we'll hear about later this week, I think he probably plays week 14, and he could win leagues for people that were patient with him or traded for him. Doesn't change the fact that we're worried about him. Doesn't change the fact that he comes with a whole lot of risk, even if on the field. Nothing I've said changes the fact that we can't predict where he's even at, because we probably aren't getting all the information we need. He could be very injury prone moving forward. 4 weeks, 14 on. He could be hampered for weeks 14 on. For now, we'll take it week by week. Panic chamber, yes, but upside to bounce back, yes. Upside to be a top 4 to 6 overall player moving forward in 2022 on. 1 to 2 years of good dynasty value, right around first round value. We'll reassess everything next week. Okay, I'm actually recording this video as the Steelers game is like winding down in the final 2 minutes. Najee's finally ripping off some runs. He's got 73 yards on 20 carries. Got that up to about 3.7 a pop. He's been looking a little bit better. But watching Harris rebound to 20 carries, 73 yards, 5 catches, 36 yards. He's not having that bad of a game. But he's still going to be in the panic chamber for a lot of people because he's not dominating. He's looking okay, squeaking by. So Najee Harris, he's on the 8-yard line here. Hold on. Harris gets the carry. Stuffed. You're in the panic chamber. 1:55 left in the game. I'll come back if he does score and has like near 100 yards and a touchdown. I won't edit anything out, but I'll talk about it almost live in real time. I took Fournette off the list. He was on there from something else, so don't panic on him. He didn't have quite the game on the ground that we wanted. He had 13 carries, but no other player had more than 1 carry. So nothing tells me that like there's another ball carrier to worry about. And he did get 7 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Fournette, you're fine. Hollywood Brown, there's reason to be concerned. Lamar Jackson looking bad in 2 straight games, but when Lamar struggles, well, so does everybody else. Are we worried about him? Yeah, enough to put him in the panic chamber, but I'm not worried enough to suggest he can't dig his way out. So Hollywood Brown, you're in the panic chamber. But, you know, I'd buy low if I could. Same thing goes for Lamar, but I'm a little more worried about Lamar. We've seen Lamar fall flat for multiple games in a row. Last year, he fell flat the entire first half of the season. He busted the entire first half of 2020. Completely busted. People were benching him, and then he turned it on in the second half. If you don't remember, if you think that sounds crazy, go look at the stats. So Lamar Jackson struggling 2 games in a row. I'm worried he's in the panic chamber. Do I think he'll bounce out of it? Yeah, I do. I don't think we'll see what we saw in 2020 where he has a 8-game stretch of disappointing games, but I am worried enough to put him in the panic chamber. Lamar, you're in the panic chamber, pal. Work your way out, please. That way we don't have Hollywood Brown, who you're dragging down, in the panic chamber. J-Rob, I mean, he's still hurt, and until we know he's 100%, until we see him bouncing back, I'm definitely worried, and J-Rob is in the panic chamber. We've got nobody outside the panic chamber right now. Nobody. But don't worry, I'm going to fix that at the end. Gaskin. I mean, he looks great, and then they don't use him. He looks great, then they don't use him. He's in the panic chamber. He 100% is in the panic chamber, but I hope he gets out. But he's hard to trust because he's used badly. It's not on him. He's a good player. He could easily be a top 5 to 10 running back all year long, but they don't use him right, so we panic. And we'll continue to panic. I've talked about Zeke Elliott already. Zeke Elliott is somebody to be very concerned about if you still, for some reason, are holding on to him. I've been beating this mallet over and over for weeks now to trade him away. And the news we got last week was a gift. It made people believe briefly, and yet an opportunity to trade him. But if you still own him, what better option do you have than to hold him play him unless you got a much better option, and hope that he falls into the end zone a handful of times moving forward, which he could do. And he's going to get a bunch of rest now walking into week number 14. Extended rest, maybe it helps him out a little bit, but he's not the same runner. Tony Pollard is the running back 1 in Dallas going forward. Now in Dynasty, they may hurt each other, and in 2022 hurt each other, because Zeke's not going to go anywhere. So they'll probably have 2 backs and continue to head in that running back by committee avenue. But my guess is that we'll see Pollard get more and more and more work, and then by midseason, maybe Zeke gets hurt next year. I'm not wishing injury upon him, but I'm saying he's older. Just because Elliott's going to muddy up the situation next year and Pollard's not going to be the starter coming into the year unless something crazy happens, which could. I think Pollard just becomes more of an undervalued player in waiting that could be a running back 1 like that. So Zeke Elliott, you for sure are in the panic chamber. Like, you live there. You and Barkley are bunkmates moving forward, and you're not leaving. Oh my God, Smitty!
Smitty, why is Justin Jefferson on the board to talk about? Are you panicking on Justin Jefferson, Smitty?
I sure am panicking on Jefferson, because he's looking so darn good right now. None of us are going to be able to own him in 2022. So good luck trading for him. Good luck drafting him anywhere in the mid-first round on. He's going to be gobbled up by everybody walking into 2022. Dynasty, redraft, you name it. The number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football moving forward. You're darn right I'm panicked that I won't own him. I appreciate everybody watching this episode of the Panic Chamber, and please get on over to sleeperu.com.
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions? Get on over to sleeperu.com.
And again, I'm giving away a free 2022 draft call. 1 hour, I will draft with you for anybody that orders the lifetime membership package, where you never pay for rankings, you never pay for content, you never pay for articles, trade calculators, bold predictions, all my player spotlights, all the Dynasty content. It's all free for life. Free email advice for life. And if you buy that Sleeper U lifetime membership now, I'll throw in a draft call for you for 2022 and give you free text advice for 2022 and the remainder of this year if you buy it now. So go get your sleeperu.com membership, your lifetime membership now. Now get out of here,
You filthy animals.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty!